Hello. It is Tuesday, and I just made a delivery. And now I have like a 10-minute drive home. I don't have another order for a few more hours or so I'm going to go home. I'm trying to talk myself out of a boudin kolache. Same thing, how you say, what do you call it? Apple fritter. Oh, I love apple fritters. I'm trying to talk myself out of stopping and getting one. This morning, I hate saying flashback, but I just had a weird reminder of something that happened once. And it's just absolutely crazy that this happened. And I love that I have these stories. I love even more that I have proof. I have actual video proof that this happened. And because I am not good with editing, I have no idea how to add it here, but one of these days I'll put it up. But I've got a story, and I think I can get through it before I get home, so this might be less than 10 minutes, but here we go. Back in, I don't know, 2007 maybe, when I was a federal employee and I worked for the Department of Defense. I was on a base called Forward Operating Base Diamondback, and it was in Mosul, Iraq. And the uniqueness about this base was there was two side by side, and it was divided in half by the runway, by Mosul Air Base, and they called it MAP, Mosul Air Force, whatever, airfield, Mosul Airfield. So at the time, we were on FOB Diamondback, and it was before we moved across the runway to FOB Marez. There is a dam in Mosul that is situated on top of some shale or shell rock that is very brittle and moves, and the dam is in jeopardy of failing even to this day. And so just in case it failed, they had a man camp built for us on Marez because it was considered higher. Anyway, that was unnecessary fluff. Anyway, this story is about our security team, and we lovingly refer to them as thugs. And the particular character in this story, every one of them had nicknames. It's like when a new one showed up, we sat around and had a conversation over what his nickname would be. This guy, you would think he was a proper English fellow, a lovely young lad, but that was just on the surface. That appearances are deceiving. He was blonde and slim and had a very posh sounding voice, and he took proper tea, and anyway, they called him Shorty. And he was the type that was always trying to ingratiate himself into people's lives to benefit himself. And that's part of this story. We had a female deputy commander, and there's different types of email and communication platforms, and we called them Secret Squirrel. And she stupidly gave this guy access to her personal SIPR, SIPR, her secret communications, super secure. So that comes into play at the end of the story. So what happened was, I was at work and I was chatting on Yahoo Messenger to a Dynacore contractor who was at the compound next door. And he was such a nice guy. There was no romantic affiliations at all. We weren't messing around. We weren't fooling around. He was just a really nice guy. I don't even remember how we met. And if somebody would be a lovely person and make a comment about harmonica in the comments, that will remind me of another story. But I don't even remember this guy's name. But he was a contracted police officer with Dynacor, and they were out kicking doors down and providing intel to the military, and super interesting job. But we would talk about work. And his compound was exactly next door to ours. Exactly next door. We were separated by HESCO barriers. Look that up. Wish to God I had stock in HESCO barriers. But sometimes they'd have poker games, and I'd go over there, and it was so funny because, like the girlfriend, I would sit beside him or behind him as they played poker, but we weren't dating. It was just a real nice friendship we had. So one day I'm chatting to him on Messenger, and my officer in charge, who was a Navy ranked commander, not the commander, but a Navy ranked commander, he was in the office sitting at his desk next to me. Well, this guy shows up in the doorway just out of nowhere, and he's wearing the uniform of my friend that I'm talking to. He's obviously a Dynacor contractor. And I'm like, hey, what's up? What can I do for you? And he said, I found this lanyard in the PX parking lot, and I'm here to return it. So he had in his hand a lanyard like we all wore, and it practically had your life in it. You carried your CAT card, your military ID, your passport, your money. I mean, everything was in it. And we're like, wow, that's really nice. So I took it from him, and right away the picture ID is Shorty, our security guy. So I said, thank you. That's so nice of you. They are all down at the PX. So they're there. And as a fact, it's somebody had come back from R&R, and that's just what you do. When you come back from R&R, you all go down to the PX and restock your stuff. It was just something to do. So I'm like, I'm going to go throw this in his chew, and when he comes back, he'll see it. Thank you. That's very nice of you. Well, the guy just wouldn't go away. And he just stood there forever. And so finally I got rid of him, went down the sidewalk, threw the lanyard on Shorty's bed, shut the door, and went back to the office. And Commander Deberard was standing up when I got, and he said, what did the guy want? An award or something? Why? That was weird. I'm like, yes, it was weird because he just wouldn't go away. So, but then again, it was nice that he returned the lanyard. So I get back on Messenger, and I say to this guy, hey, one of your guys was just over here, and he returned a lanyard. And I told him what happened. And he said, I don't know who that was, but I have a suspicion I know who it was, and there's something up with that guy. And before I even had a chance to say, what do you mean? Suddenly the doorway was darkened, and all the guys was standing in the doorway. But it was weird, for so many big gruff British former military guys, they were silent. And Shorty was there in the doorway holding his lanyard, and he said, who put this in my room? And I said, I did. And he said, where did you find it? And then I opened my mouth, but Commander Deberard finished the conversation. And Commander Deberard told Shorty what happened. He said, this guy brought it and handed it to us, and Sarah immediately went through it in your room. And Shorty's like, who was the guy? And we both were like, we don't know, but he was wearing a Dynacor uniform. No sooner had the words come out of my mouth than did those guys just disappear. They took off, and I thought, oh my God, something is up. And I jumped on Messenger and I said, quick, our guys are coming over there. I think there's going to be a fight. Something's happening. Quick, go check on that guy. Go hide him. And my friend said, nope. And I'm like, please, these people can lose their jobs. Something's wrong. Something's going on. Go out there, hide them, meet them at the gate. Don't let them in. And he said, I know who the guy is. It all makes sense now. Apparently, this guy was in trouble for something. And he had been fired. And so he was was not allowed to be at his desk because, sensitive communications, not allowed to be at his desk. And he was realistically just waiting for a flight to go home. And so I don't know exactly what had happened, but he was fired, and so he was hanging out at the PX, and he came across this lanyard, not in the parking lot like he said, but Shorty, and I know this from the video, had taken it off in the PX and set it down to try on a holster, a new gun holster, and then stupidly forgot to pick it back up and put it back on and walked away from it. So they went over there and vigilante justice took place. They beat the shit out of this guy. Excuse my language. They beat him within an inch of his life. And of course, it was assault or battery, whatever. They called Criminal Investigations Division, military police came out. Everybody was in trouble. It was a horrible, horrible thing. Unfortunately, Shorty was not sent home over. I don't know how he got away with it, but because they had video of this guy stealing the lanyard and him coming back and trying to pretend to be a good Samaritan, blah, blah, blah. Now, he was, instead of waiting for his flight to come in a couple days, he was escorted onto a plane and gotten rid of immediately. But our guys, there was a huge investigation, and it was iffy what was going to happen to them. So, this guy, Shorty, used his friendship with our deputy commander and got into her super secret email account so that he could see the email transmissions referencing his case. And when that was found out, he got away with it because to bring charges on him about it would also have gotten the deputy commander in trouble. So all of this is craziness that I actually have the video. I have the security cam footage from inside the PX. And the reason why I have it is another story. But the video shows the tops of the heads of the guys standing at the holster display. And it shows him taking it off, laying it down, walking away. And then here comes this guy looking left and right, picks it up, opens it up, takes the money out, puts it in his pocket, and then puts the lanyard around his neck, drops it down his shirt, so you can't see it, and walks out. And I was just really, really sick of the guy. Number one, to be a thief. Sick of the guy to try to be a good Samaritan and act like the good guy returning something. But anyway, that's the story time for today. Next story will be about the harmonica. And the reason why I happen to have so many photos and videos of stuff, there's a reason for that. But anyway, this was a nice drive in Mont Belvieu. Have a good day.